Hello, my wonderful, beautiful subscribers and friends. Hi, this is your girl Destiny. We're going to talk tonight about your ego, my ego. My people, this message is so powerful. You don't want to touch that dial. You don't want to get up and read this message. You want to sit down and listen to everything that I am bringing to you tonight about your ego. Then I'm going to give you 5 major signs that your ego is controlling you. Stay tuned, be patient, and listen with your heart. Listen intentionally, people, because you got a message that's going to change your life for the best. So, do you ever feel like that the world revolves around you? Look, don't worry. We've all been there, right? But it only leads to problems, doesn't it? You know, it's like your ego is trying to control you. So listen, having some ego strength isn't necessarily a bad thing though. And we don't want to be pushed around. We don't want to be told bad things about ourselves. And we definitely don't want to believe everything that we hear. But we also don't want to be, or we don't want the ego to be the leading source of our decision making and not even our perception. But listen, the ego is the part of us that is always self-conscious and wants to be in control, people. And it comes from a place within that is totally absorbed with our safety, as well as with our reputation, our personal interests, and our survival. The ego, though, it separates us from our surroundings rather than connecting us to the oneness between humans and the natural world. And this can lead to being a little out of harmony and lead us into full distress. So, if you want to enjoy the unfolding of life, my people, then we can't let the ego distract us. We got to stay center focused. We got to keep our eyes on the divine creator who is leading and guiding us in a plain path away from those things that comes to put us away from being our best and better version. So my people, as I said, this can lead to being out of harmony and full of distress. Now, if we want to enjoy the unfolding of life, I'm telling you again, you got to let the ego go, and we cannot let the ego distract us. The ego is the exact force that gets in the way of it. Okay, I'm going to repeat it. The ego, my people, is the exact force that gets in the way of experiencing a balanced, a meaningful, and a significant life. Now, before going on any further, let me state that the ego isn't going to go away. Though there are many ways to begin noticing when it's calling the shots and many things to focus on in order to break free from the trap of self-serving motives. My people, you don't have to listen to this message. You're going to have to listen deep to this message, because tonight I'm going to put it out there for you, and it's for your good, and it will help you to know how to recognize when your ego is controlling you. So my people, again, let me say it like this. The ego, it is always trying to call the shots. And what we got to do, by doing so, a higher consciousness involving humanity as a whole, my people, it can evolve. And we can give back and contribute to the greater good. So, this is a question I'm going to ask. Is your ego sabotaging your happiness? Because there is no doubt that one of the most destructive characteristics that you can have is an overinflated ego. While our ego is here to protect us, my people, it also can harm us as well if we don't properly understand it, or we let it get the best of us. And that's why we got to maintain our cool, our focus. We got to stay in that positive mindset. We got to stop allowing things and people and situations to pull us away from us being the best version of whom the Creator created for us to be. So my people, we can't let the ego play us like that. While our ego is here to protect us, people, I'm going to say it again, it also can harm us if we don't properly understand it, or we let it get the best of us. You see, when we understand how the ego really works, then we can use it to find a sense of fulfillment and happiness without becoming egotistical or even becoming selfish or insecure. And that's why when dealing with your ego, listen, when dealing with your ego, I recommend you try and find a sense of balance instead of trying to suppress it or destroy it. And the first step to finding this balance, my people, is to identify when your ego is not serving you from your higher good. But how do you know if your ego has taken over your life in a negative way? I promise you, my people, I'm going to give you those 5 signs that will help you discover the answer once and for all. Stay there. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to give you 5 signs. Follow along with me. Write them down. Go back and replay this videotape again. But get each of these 5 signs. Sign number 1. Nothing is ever good enough. The ego, what it does is it feeds from the fear that there won't be enough. That's why it's never satisfied. And it always craves for more. If things start looking dull in your life, even though all of your needs are being met, my people, and nothing is ever good enough, it might be a sign that your ego is out of balance. And this is a good opportunity for you to start focus on what you do have instead of what you lack. That's sign number 1. Nothing is ever good enough. Sign number 2. You always have to be right. Now, when you're caught up in an argument, are you trying to make a point, or do you just want to prove that you're right? If you just want to prove that you're right, then it's most likely that your ego is calling for reassurance. And this type of thinking is not only a narrow-minded or even selfish, my people. It often leads to judgment and negativity. So, listen, instead, try to be understanding, and then you find value in other people's opinions, and you'll soon see how this opens you up to the new opportunities and the new experiences. But you have to remember that sometimes being happy means making the choice to let go of the need to be right. And I hope that you choose happiness in those moments. Number 3, you're overwhelmed by stress. Do you become easily concerned when things do not go as they should? This constant state of fear or worry is also a sign of misalignment. And your ego is always in that survival mode. And even though it's there to protect you from any danger, my people, it can also cause you unneeded stress and fear in your life. So when this happens, it's easy to feel victimized or defensive. So it's important to identify it happening. When that time, those things feel like it's a little bit off balance, It is important to identify those that it is happening. Your ego is targeting you to feel that you're being victimized or you are being put into a place of being defensive. So you want to identify that it's happening and then focus on courage instead of fear. And don't let it stop you from living your life with passion, people. And you definitely don't stop it from living your life with purpose. Okay, number 4. Life is not fun anymore. Can you remember the last time that you laughed at yourself? I know it's important to take care of your business and be the best person that you can be, but being too serious, my people, can also hinder your ability to enjoy life itself. But your ego is always watching over your self-worth. And sometimes it does this by filling you with worry and concerns and regret or even embarrassment. So listen, next time someone cracks a joke at you, remember to laugh. Life should be fun, my people. Don't be so serious. Proverbs 17, verse 22 says, a merry heart is like medicine to the soul. Learn to laugh, people. Life is not fun anymore. That's what your ego is telling you. And the last one is number 5. The last sign, number 5. You hate to lose more than you love to win. So be competitive. Being competitive, my people, is healthy when it supports your growth and your potential. However, you must be aware that your ego loves being the best, and it can easily, my people, distract you from seeing the bigger picture in life, which is to achieve happiness, love, and fulfillment. So, let me conclude all this and put it all in a nutshell and tell you people right now how to overcome that ego that is controlling you. Listen, this is very important. Focus on generosity. Practice giving of your time, your energy, and your resources. This will squeeze the ego focus on mine and having more. Then, practicing loving unconditionally. When you are able to love someone or something despite what's in it for you, the ego has been transcended. Show love unconditionally and stop asking, what's in it for me? You have to be compassionate and kind. Help others in need and recognize how you can be of service. Be observant about how you can help others. And then do something kind for someone today. Then you must encourage unity and embrace differences. Spend time and get to know someone who is different than you. And when you notice judgments emerging, my people, stop to find the value in others' uniqueness and in their background. Then you be in the present moment, my people. The ego has a hard time staying content in the moment. So you have to be very careful not to get stuck ruminating on the past or even worrying about the future. You have to be mindful, people. Be mindful of your breath, your environment. Be mindful of your 5 senses. Now you must align with a higher power. Self-transcendence is a major facet of overcoming the ego. With an authentic spiritual relationship, it comes a shifting from focusing on the self to focusing on others. And ultimately, my people, to focusing on the society as a large. Now, focus on courage instead of fear. Don't let the ego scare you out of following your heart and living from your purpose. Uncertainty, my people, scares the ego, and it sends signals that whatever change or ideal is being considered is bad. Now, people, stay in faith and be courageous in the face of fear. When we are able to disidentify with the ego, we can alleviate much unnecessary suffering. Our responses and interpretations will no longer be driven by the anxiety or even our fears and the shame that the ego communicates to us. You can begin making decisions from the higher self, but you must recognize when the ego is controlling you. Then you must get back into the driver's seat. Take back the power that you have given over to your ego. And then you must continue to drive up out of that lower place of consciousness unto your greater and higher self. My people, the ego is the part of us that is always self-conscious and it wants to be in control. It comes from a place within that is totally absorbed with our safety and with our reputation, our personal interests, and survival. So we cannot let the ego separate us from our surroundings, but rather we must allow the ego to connect us to the oneness between humans and the natural world. My people, you have the power of the creator of this universe within you to overcome anything. And you are an overcomer. 5 signs that your ego is controlling you. You can take back your power and control. You can be in the driver's seat. Listen to those 5 major steps. My people, I'm gone. I will see you at the next video. I will see you at the next video. Destiny is here. She's going away to get more information to bring your way. I will see you at the next video. Namaste, my beautiful people. You wonderful souls. Good night. Love you guys out there.